Hi, everybody. So today I'm going to guide us through a somatic practice for feeling into grief, feeling into feelings that, you know, might be latent under the surface, might be something that we're um, resisting or that we're denying, especially because there are so many atrocities going on in the world right now. And sometimes when that's happening, we can um, disregard our own experience of grieving or our own experience of um, our emotions because we're comparing it to, you know, what we're witnessing happening to others, which is valid, absolutely. But the thing I wanted to talk about today is the importance and the power of moving through our emotions and making space for feeling them. And uh, I think that there is a need to do this, especially in moments like this, um, when we're so overwhelmed and so bombarded by unthinkable tragedy and violence. Um, so, yeah, I would like to open up the space today to be able to mindfully move into our bodies and into the emotions that we're feeling and to safely exist there for a small amount of time. The intention behind this practice is not just to, you know, it's not to selfishly, in the bad sense of the word, like take up space or something. And I think that sometimes that can be um, a struggle for people, especially like I was saying, when these kinds of things are going on in the world, I think we can think that like spending time on ourselves or for our own feelings can be like selfish. But to me, feeling our own personal story of grief, moving through it, acknowledging it, and feeling it fully is a way to become stronger and to become more empathetic and more loving. And I think that that's, that's really what is needed right now. Um, and so many people also are, fighting for justice in the ways that they are able to. And it is like a never ending, um, like uh, stress on the nervous system. Uh, and even if you are like, I mean, honestly, there's this like added stress and on the nervous system when things like this are happening, uh, whether or not you're actually like actively um, performing your activism and being seen for it. And I think that this was something that we all experienced during like 2020 as well, but like there was a lot of pressure to be a visible activist. And a lot of the time, um, for a lot of people, their most effective activism is like, behind the scenes or something that is like a lot quieter, or they're having conversations like in real life with people rather than on their Instagrams. There's lots of different kinds of activism that are all equally as important, just like how we are all different and we all have different gifts that we bring to the world. So this kind of a practice is also, for that. It's for regulating our nervous systems as we fight for justice in whatever way that we are doing it. Not only to like sort of soothe the stress and the activation that we're feeling while we're fighting or while we're doing our activism, but also if we're feeling pressure or judgment on ourselves from others about like how we're showing up. So, yeah, um, I would like to start maybe with just a few words about um, this uh, practice of, or sorry, about this, what's going on right now. Um, the horror that we're feeling for and witnessing in Palestine and Israel right now is opening and it pouring salt into deep, deep collective wounds. Watching such atrocities unfold and then having to argue for the rights of fellow humans to not be murdered en masse, um, while balancing multiple truths and integrating understanding of legacies of trauma, and then to be facing, on top of all of that, discourse around whose lives matter more or matter less. All of that is completely horrifying and overwhelming. We are feeling helplessness and shock, and God help us to carry the weight of it all, especially if we're simultaneously experiencing our own traumas or our own grief in our personal lives. We carry the weight of our fellow humans' horror and trauma and grief, as well as our own. And I think a lot of the time when we're witnessing atrocities such as these, we tend to want to run away or dismiss our own experience of grief because we think that it has no place compared to the tangible suffering that we are seeing forced on others. But grief is an opening to love and to empathy, as I said earlier. And we are each of us allowed to feel it fully and to give it space and to give it a voice. So that's what we'll be doing today. And I invite you to take this practice at your own pace, in your own style. I'm going to be prompting, different forms of movement, or different prompts basically, and you can follow them if you want, or you can do what feels better for you. So let's say I suggest like sitting or lying on the floor or moving in a certain way. Like, you don't have to do that at all. You can get up and you can dance around, and then the opposite is true. So just follow really what your body is telling you need in that moment, even if it feels like the reason for it is maybe rooted in fear or embarrassment or like something like self-consciousness. It doesn't matter. Just allow that to um, inform your movement in the moment, and trust that through listening to that information from your body, that you will come out on the other side with more wisdom, and then you'll be moved into the next, the next invitation or the next thing that you want to do. I always find that just by taking things one step at a time and not trying to force a different reaction or a different outcome or force a different response in my body, that by just allowing and taking the pressure off in the moment actually just like magically transforms any tension that I was feeling. And then I'm usually more able to open up and experience something that is like more than I would have expected, or, like more beneficial, or more healing, or more just like informative. I'm caught in my hair right now. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, keep all that in mind. And let's get started. So, I would invite you now to, first of all, take care of your space, like the space that you're in. Make sure that you have some privacy, that you won't be like interrupted for the next 20 minutes or so, or maybe 30 minutes, maybe longer. I'm going to try and make this go for 30 minutes, like in all, and then you can linger as much as you want after. So yeah, just make sure you won't be interrupted and that your space is really comfortable. I would recommend, I'm sitting on a sheepskin rug. So if you have something comfy, like soft and warm to sit on, also like get a blanket, have that nearby because it's comforting. And also, yeah, there's lots of reasons for why the blanket is really important, especially when we're moving through emotions like grief. Um, you know, it kind of feels like you're being wrapped. It's like grandmotherly, like kind of more motherly or family. Like it just feels like being contained. It's also like just warming. And sometimes if we're not moving, if you wanted to do a lot of or have a lot of stillness in your practice today, then you might get a little cold. So it's just nice to have that nearby. I'd also recommend having a pillow or a bolster, like a yoga bolster or something, or 2 or 3 as well. The pillow can be used for support to sit on or to punch in rage or to scream into in rage if you want, or wailing or hugging. Like they're basically props to support your practice today and to be there so that you can like open up even more to yourself. So yeah, I'm going to shut my door because that feels better. So find a comfortable seat or lying down. Just to start out, if you want to stretch your legs a little bit and just like loosen up just a little bit. Take a big deep breath in and an exhale out. I'm going to tap into how we're feeling right now. Are you feeling a little bit of apprehension, a little bit of, who knows, maybe you're not feeling very grounded. Maybe you're feeling a little bit anxious. Maybe you don't know what to expect. You might be feeling a little resistant to this practice, hoping it'll go a certain way, hoping it won't do a certain thing. Just witness how you're feeling in the moment and accept that as what is going on right now. Don't judge it and don't try and change it. Just allow it to be. Take another big inhale and exhale through the mouth. I'm closing my eyes right now. I invite you to do the same if that feels good for you. I find that it's easier for me to center into myself when I have my eyes closed. But a lot of people, or not, sorry, not a lot of people, but some people feel like more uncomfortable or ill at ease when they close their eyes. They feel a little disassociative. So if you do want to have your eyes open, that's totally fine. I would recommend maybe looking at something like looking out the window, if that helps, or looking at something on the floor in front of you and fixing your gaze, and maybe just sort of like relaxing the gaze as well. So it's like fixing on a point and then relaxing the gaze. That can be helpful. And you don't need to stay in any one state or any one position today. We're not doing a strict meditation practice at all. We're doing a movement practice. So if you need to open your eyes or close them or change your form, then please do that. I'm just intuitively feeling the energy in my body right now. So I invite you to just sort of make these circles with your torso, feeling the sits bones rooted into the ground, into whatever you're sitting on, sending the energy downwards through the base of the spine. And as you inhale, feeling energy rising up simultaneously from the base of the spine all the way through the crown of the head. And as we feel this two-way direction of energy that links us to the earth, just moving in a way that feels authentic to you, just gently, gently moving. Allowing energy to move through the body in a way that feels unencumbered and that's not pressuring you. Your body is telling you how it wants to be in space right now. For me, that's making circles with my torso, heart out, and then sort of like a seated cat-cow in yoga. And then circling back, heart opening to the front of the room, and then curving backwards, opening the back body, the heart door on the back body. And then switching positions. It's just opening up the spine. Exhale, curving the back body outward. Inhale, opening the chest and the front of the torso, opening the heart to the front of the room. Exhale, inhale. So there's finding center again. Breathing in, breathing out, nice and deep. One more time. We found a little bit of stillness now after that initial opening movement practice. Tune into how you're feeling now. Is anything different than it was when we started? Are you feeling any different than you did at the beginning of our time today? I know I'm feeling a little bit less afraid or unsure of myself. I'm feeling a little less self-conscious. I don't really have access to my emotions yet, other than that, and that's totally okay. I still feel the urge to move just a little bit, so I'm just going to allow that to happen. We're not trying to stifle our movement today. We're trying to allow movement. We're trying to get energy moving through the body, not stuck. So in whatever thing you need to do, whether that's tapping your feet, shaking your hands, standing up, stretching, doing some yoga moves, if that's what you want to do right now, just do that. But staying in yourself, staying centered and aware of your body, of your breath, and of what you're just experiencing in the moment. So the next thing I want to do, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to stand up. You don't have to stand up, but what I want to do is move the energy a little bit more loosely through each side of the body, and specifically open up the hips, because the hips are a place in the body that hold a lot of emotion, and specifically grief. So I'm going to stand up now in my little outfit, pajamas. I'm going to make some space. I'm going to take this off so there's a little bit more visual. So just starting by like moving the right side of the body, hinging at the hip. We're going to allow movement on the right side of the body, meeting with the hip. And this is the right side of my body. Shaking the right leg, moving energy up past the hip, out through the arm. Moving energy around in whatever way feels good. Excuse my squeaky floor. I know it looks weird, but just move however feels good for your body. We're working from the right side of the body. We're moving energy out through the right hip, up through the right arms. Give you a little more better visual. And now with the left side, moving through the left hip, allowing that to guide your movement today. Up through the left leg and the left arm. Tuning in and tapping into what the hip is feeling and the consciousness there in your hips. I already feel myself waking up. And now just both hips equally, moving as if you're moving through water, allowing energy to come up through the hip and out through the arms. Whatever way feels good for you, and shake it out. Really shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Okay. This is one of the best ways to get pent up energy out of the body. Shaking, shaking, shaking. Whatever feels good for you, just like freaking shake. Whew. It really warms you up. Okay. Thank you for practicing that with me. So that was our little warm up to get our bodies woken up and to get that energy moving through. If I were you, I might be, lying on the floor, maybe doing a little bit more of a hip opener with like knees apart, and just kind of allowing the hips to open up even a little bit more. Feel free to do that if you want. But I need to be looking at the camera, so I'm gonna stay seated like this. My breath. So the shaking practice, the shaking of the arms, shaking of the legs, and tremoring like this on purpose is an extremely powerful way to regulate our nervous systems in the moment while we're experiencing overwhelm or while we're experiencing fear or shock. It really helps us to move out of shock and freeze states that are brought on by fear or horror. And there's a few trauma specialists that have studied that and that have linked that idea or that practice, that movement to nature and the ways that animals regulate their nervous systems when they experience something, traumatic and terrifying, like being mauled by a lion, and a gazelle will just like shake until the nervous system kind of like re-regulates itself to some degree. And so that's a really good way not only to get energy, like stagnant energy moving through the body, and to wake our bodies up and wake our energy up a little bit, and get energy flowing, but it's also a really good way to feel safe and present again in our bodies when we've been dissociated from them through shock or through an overwhelm in some way. And sometimes we get overwhelmed in our bodies through our emotions, not because we experienced something like really fearful and really shocking in the moment, but actually rather like over time, if we have like sort of a continued encounter or in continued encounters with stressful or difficult situations, or we're feeling sad a lot, or we're feeling overwhelmed by our emotions a lot, we can actually just start to become a little bit dissociated from our bodies and from our emotional range and our emotional landscape. So shaking can really help with that. Take another big breath wherever you are. Big exhale wherever you are. Finding our center again. Invite you now to just rub the hands along the thighs, just feeling the contact of your hands on your thighs. Just running them up and down, feeling your thighs and feeling your hands. Maybe touching the knees a little bit, circling around on the knees. Down to the shins. Feeling the shins, feeling the ankles, feeling the feet, squeezing the feet a little with your hands. Appreciating right now how you were able to hold yourself this way and resource your own body this way. Your hands are they are support. They are a form of support for the rest of your body. They're a way for you to connect with yourself and with your body. They're a way for you to transfer energies and help shift energies in your body. So just moving the hands back up along the thighs. And then to the hips, feeling the hips. Maybe even feeling the tushy a little bit. Feeling that place where your butt is meeting the ground or whatever you're sitting on. Feeling the lower back. And maybe at the lower back, you're able to touch some skin, not just the outer layer of your clothing, making contact with your own skin. Hands running along the front of the body now, feeling the belly, feeling at peace with the belly. Just lingering on the belly a little bit. The belly is a place of another location in the body where we hold a lot of grief and a lot of anxiety. When we feel anxious, we often feel tummy upset, we feel queasy. We feel like we can't eat. We don't want to. We lose our appetites when we're grieving and when we're anxious. We feel like there's something in the pit of our gut. Often we'll say that. We also have a lot of collective trauma, especially women, around the womb area. Just like so many weird ideas about identity and about role playing and what it means to be a woman and what is expected of us. Also around the horrors of, and hardships of childbearing, child rearing, and then loss. The belly is a very, very soft, sensitive place. It's one of our most vulnerable spots on our body. We often try to hide this part of our body by shielding it. We often cross our arms around our torsos to shield our underbelly. So just feeling that, just having the hands on the belly now and holding it, holding space for this part of ourselves. Respecting the belly, it's where we are nourished. It's the location of our stomach, of our intestines, of our kidneys. Well, I mean, they're near the back, but, liver, all these internal organs that help us to process everything that we take in. Just being here with this soft part of ourselves. Notice if there's any emotion that is arising as we sit here stalling at the belly. Is there grief already here? Do you feel sadness for yourself, for things that may have happened to you? Are you feeling grief for the children of the world, for your own children, for yourself as a child? Are you feeling anything else? Any anger? What does it feel like? Just noticing what you're feeling. You can name it if you want. You can articulate it in your mind to yourself. Does it have a color, this feeling that you're feeling right now? Does it have a color that you associate with it? For me, what I'm feeling now is a soft, tender care and a little bit of grief. And the color that I'm seeing is sort of like a soft lavender, a little bit of a light pink petal, like a rose petal, pink and gray. Here at the belly, are you feeling contentment? Are you feeling gratitude? Or is it something else? Can you breathe into the space? Allow yourself to just be with this feeling and watch it. Maybe there is also a sound or a texture that you can associate right now with this emotion you're feeling. Now, slowly move the hands up through from the belly up to the heart center, securely feeling your hands against the chest cavity, pressing, putting a little bit of pressure on this part of the body to really feel it. The heart center is a place that we store our collective, our compassion, and our ability to love the collective, the human collective, as well as the more than human collective. This is where we feel a union and a oneness with everything and with the whole earth and the whole solar system even. We can feel how interconnected we are with everyone and everything here at the heart center. With the hands here, feeling that dip, that sort of divot between the breasts, between right at the center of the chest. This is like a crater, a space that we all have in our bodies to hold for others and for ourselves. This is an opening. Breathing into this space. On an inhale, feel energy and love and understanding pouring in through this front crater, through this opening in the front body. And on an exhale, imagine doors at the back of your body, right behind this heart space opening, right at the spine. The doors fling open, and your exhale releases all of that care that you've been holding in your body for others, for the world, and it releases out of you. Do that again. Inhaling through the front body. Exhaling all of that beautiful love and compassion out through the back of this heart window, this heart door in the spine. You are the funnel for this love and for this compassion. And the grief that you feel for what happens in the world, what happens to those you love, what happens to yourself, your own grief is as welcome here as any other emotion. This is the space for grief to live and to move through freely when it needs to. Grief is an opening in itself to love and to empathy. Just allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel is an act, a radical act. So just tapping in here to what you're feeling now that we've centered in on this part of ourselves. When we hold our heart space like this, what emotions are present? Just witnessing the feelings here. It might not be grief, it might actually be joy. If you want, you might want to wrap one of your hands along the back. If you can reach, not everyone can reach this, to the back of your spine and holding that heart door, holding the front and holding the back of the body at this heart center. Supporting this part of ourselves, supporting this really, really important portal that we all carry in our bodies. Witnessing what it is that we are feeling within that portal right now. And allowing it to change and move through us as it needs to. What is the color of the emotions that you're feeling here as we linger here, the heart? What is the sound or the texture? If you want to act out this feeling, really act out what this feeling is, what it would look like, feel free. If it's joy, maybe there's an expansion of the chest. Feel free to release the hands from any position they were in and act out what this feeling is. I feel empowered at the heart space. I feel empowered through the grief that I hold there. And that looks a certain way. Allow this movement, this emotion to form itself in your body and show yourself what this feels like. Show your room what this feels like. The cushions around you, show the bookcase what this feels like, what this looks like. If it's grief, if you have to hide, if you have to be down on the ground for this, show your floor what this emotion feels like or looks like. Move it through the body. Allow yourself to become what it is that you have just felt from the belly through the heart and out through the heart space, out through the throat even. If you have to speak it, if you have to wail or laugh or moan or swear profusely, then please do that. Use your body right now to express that emotion or those emotions that you're feeling. If there are 3 different things you're feeling at once, show the complexity of that through your body. Allow yourself to move freely. Take as much time as you need to really let these feelings move through you and to really act them out. Beautiful. Hmm. In your own time, find center, find a place to sit or to lie that feels like rest for you. Just tapping in now to how different everything feels. What spaces have you opened up inside yourself through doing this practice? What feels more spacious? What do you feel like you need to hold more, spend more time with? What do you now know to be true? This was a beautiful and radical thing to do for yourself, to know that you have the capacity to feel and to spend time with those feelings. It only strengthens us to do this. It only makes us better lovers, better friends, better activists. It only makes us better citizens of this planet. I invite you to massage the body in a way that feels really natural and really giving. I'm feeling a lot of need right now to massage my heart space and my chest and these pressure points. Just witness the softness that you now feel in your body after expressing what you expressed. How your eyes feel. They're a little bit watery. They used to be enclosed. Maybe they feel like fresh baby eyes now when you open them. Like light is new for them. So just slowly coming back into a sense of being present in this reality here, in this room that we're sitting in. Coming back into a sense of grounded physical safety. Now that we have experienced our bodies this way and listened to our emotions and our bodies and the link between the two, maybe we feel a little bit safer knowing that we have this familiarity with ourselves now. Just breathing here with this knowing, with this newness that we've created in ourselves and for ourselves. Just breathing with this. We're going to do one nice big inhale and then one big exhale through the mouth all together. So inhaling and exhaling through the mouth, releasing any extra tension. One more time if you want. If you're feeling the need, like me, to shake things out of the body even more, feel free. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just shaking out whatever you need to shake out. We don't have to stay still. We don't have to stay quiet. We don't have to stay still or silent. If you want to get up, get up. If you want to shake it out all over your body, do it. If you want to stomp, stomp. All of that. If you want to yell, yell. Do it now. I'm not going to, because that would be too much for you. Okay, so that was our very gentle, intuitive, somatic movement practice today. I hope that it brought something good to your experience of yourself and your emotions. I invite you to stay in this place of softness, and not softness like meekness, but rather tenderness. Tenderness with your own heart, with your own body, with the places, the locations within you that hold memory and feeling. And to remember that these are gateways to deeper compassion for others, for our planet, for everybody who coexists here with us. And that by taking care of our own selves and of our own portals, our own gateways to self-awareness and to emotion, we are expanding our capacity to love and to care. So thank you for being here for this practice and for taking the time and for doing the weird things with me, and sending everybody so much love. This practice I'm recording before November 11th, which in Canada is a day of remembrance for war veterans and for victims of war. And I'm releasing this on that day, but this practice can be done on any day, because really there are always reasons to be mindful about how lucky we can be, and then how what's the word? How impermanent things are. But we are always able to feel into our capacity for love and compassion. And sometimes the most loving thing is to sit in our anger or our grief, or rather to feel through it, not to stay sitting in it, but to allow it to pass through and to honor it. There are a lot of things to be rageful about. There are a lot of things to grieve, a lot of hardship and horrors that we witness on a daily basis if we're paying attention. So I invite you to, as often as you can, to practice this awareness, and to find that space for yourself. So, anyway, thank you for being here. And yeah, I hope all the best for you. Bye.